How's it going? Nope, hang on. Kids are asking me stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, no, they're for your lunch.
No, there's 4, and there's 4.
Yeah, you and Colt are taking them for lunch. So no.
4.
No, you can't have one.
Colt is taking one too?
Yeah, he takes them. Kids. Hey, and no juice boxes either. You can have a Gatorade. You can have a Gatorade. Alright, so let's review for photosynthesis. See if kids are gonna, come in here. I am in their game room, so they might be in and out a little bit. But alright, let's get going. So photosynthesis and cellular respiration. That's what we've been talking about the last couple weeks. So let's just kind of go over the processes real quick, and then we'll go over some test questions. So photosynthesis, remember, is how plants make their food. That's the main idea, that's the main goal of photosynthesis, is for plants to create food for themselves. They're autotrophs, they make food automatically, and so photosynthesis is a process that makes that work. So remember, it needs a couple things. It needs carbon dioxide, and it needs water. Okay, those are the main ingredients. And it does also need sunlight, but remember, sunlight's, it's kind of on the arrow when we're looking at the equation, because what is the sunlight actually doing? Remember, the sunlight is being changed into chemical energy of ATP to power the process of photosynthesis. So the carbon dioxide and the water are the ingredients that actually make up the glucose, which is one of the end products, and then the sunlight is what's powering that whole process. Okay? So as I just said, the end products, what comes out of photosynthesis, is going to be glucose, the sugar that the plant keeps for itself, and oxygen, which is released. Okay? So those, as far as the equation, like I said in class, you've gotten it 3 or 4 times. You should have seen the equation many, many times. But one more time, it's 6H2O plus 6 CO2. The sunlight's got to be there. Okay. Yields or gives us or equals 6O2 plus C6H12O6. And remember that C6H12O6 is glucose. Okay? So, that's photosynthesis. So now we go to cellular respiration. Remember, they kind of lean on each other per se. So cellular respiration is how all living things, it doesn't matter if it's a plant, doesn't matter if it's a human, doesn't matter if it's a bacteria, a yeast, a fungus, every living thing does some sort of cellular respiration so that they can take their food and change it into a usable form of energy. So us, for instance, we take our food, we break it down. Hey, y'all keep it down a little bit. Guys. Okay. Thank you. We take our food, and the food we eat is not in a form that our cells can use it. Our cells need cellular energy of ATP. So cellular respiration takes our food and chemically then changes it into this ATP. And again, the same process happens with plants. Plants create glucose from photosynthesis, but then they turn around and will do respiration, cellular respiration, with the glucose they made from photosynthesis. So plants do both processes. Don't get confused. I mentioned that many times in class. Plants do cellular respiration. Don't think they don't. Okay. So the equation for this one, remember, you got, what does it need? Well, it needs oxygen, and it needs sugar of some sort. It needs, glucose. Okay, so it needs those two things. So you got 6O2 plus C6H12O6, and it gives us, what does it give us? Well, what do we breathe out? Again, think carbon dioxide. So it releases carbon dioxide, and then it also makes water. Okay, water is a product, and then obviously the ATP. Now remember, there were two different ways that respiration can go. It can go with aerobic. So aerobic respiration gives us between 36 and 38 molecules of ATP per molecule of glucose. So one molecule of glucose gives us 36 to 38 molecules of ATP. And then there's anaerobic cellular respiration. So anaerobic is no oxygen present, and that's much less efficient. Doesn't create near as much ATP as aerobic cellular respiration does. In fact, it only does two. Okay, only 2 molecules of ATP. Also, with anaerobic respiration, there's fermentation. Okay, so fermentation is kind of the next step if there's no oxygen. And there's 2 main things we talked about. For humans, we do lactic acid fermentation, and for other organisms, ethyl alcohol is produced through their fermentation. So there's kind of 2 routes that we talked about in class, and just make sure you kind of remember both those. Alright, so let's kind of go over, first question right off the bat. Which of the following is the equation for photosynthesis? So straight up equation that we've talked about, okay? Number 3, products of photosynthesis are, means, again, 2 already that have to do with the equation. What does chlorophyll absorb? Chlorophyll absorbs what? The sunlight. Okay. I told you all this in class. Make sure you know the second stage of cellular respiration, who that was named after. Also, don't forget, if the test is talking about an organic molecule, it's more than likely talking about glucose. We talked in class, or one of your big ideas was organic molecule is anything that has carbon involved. Well, one of the big things that we've said is the glucose. C6, that 6 carbons, that would make it an organic molecule. So if the test question says something about, organic molecules, think that's a synonym for glucose. Okay. Aerobic versus anaerobic. Which one is more efficient? Which one produces more ATP? So there's a question on that. Why is anaerobic respiration less efficient? Well, why? Because less energy is produced, right? Okay. Because there's not very much ATP made. All right. Right in the middle of the test. Cellular respiration can be expressed as the following equation. So straight up the equation. Which substance is a product of photosynthesis and a reactant of respiration? Well, there's 2 that you could go with. Product of photosynthesis and a reactant of respiration. It's either going to be glucose or oxygen. Either one of those. Which phrase best describes cellular respiration? Remember, that would be taking our food and turning it into usable energy. Okay. There's dogs barking. Hopefully you're well distracted. What?
That's my left friend is here.
Again, which best describes cellular respiration? Converting food energy into usable energy. Okay? I guess for a little while. If you saw a fish tank, there was a fish tank, and it had live fish and live plants. What would the plants be giving off, and what would the fish be giving off? Plants would be giving off oxygen. Fish would be giving off carbon dioxide. Right? Would the plants be giving off carbon dioxide? They actually would be too. But in that respect, oxygen would be what they'd be giving off in that example. What is most important with plants as far as having an effect on photosynthesis? Does the amount of carbon dioxide affect it? Yes. Does the amount of water affect it? Yes. Does the amount of light affect it? Yes. What about nitrogen in the soil? Did we ever talk about nitrogen affecting the rate of photosynthesis? No, we did not. Okay. Another one, product of photosynthesis, reactant of respiration. Another one, say the product of respiration, reactant of photosynthesis. What does chlorophyll actually do to the light? Remember, we said chlorophyll captures the light energy and changes it into ATP, which would be a chemical energy. Okay. I don't care. Just watch the street.
Wait, do we have to do that?
More comparing the processes. Here's a graphic. Well, I know it's backwards. You can go look in your mirror. So it shows arrows bringing water and carbon dioxide in. If water and carbon dioxide are going in, and it talks about chlorophyll, is that a model of photosynthesis or a model of respiration? Photosynthesis. Of course. Great job. What type of cell? What? Okay. Do whatever you want. What type of cell would need the most mitochondria? Well, would it be a skin cell, a lung cell, or a heart cell? Think about which one needs the most energy. Which one needs the most energy? Your heart beats all day long, right? Doesn't it need a lot of energy? So it's going to need a lot of mitochondria. So your heart cell, you need the most mitochondria in your heart cells. Yeah.
Oh, we have to go up there to court. Play today.
This is if you watch Edmodo video, you'll get this one. This one, I don't like this question. It might be one, I don't know. We'll see. It talks about guard cells. And we talked about guard cells, how they open and close the stomata. So the stomata is the opening that allows for gas exchange in the leaf. And, hello, Spence. And the stomata are closed or opened by the guard cells. And this one talks about the guard cells having chloroplasts. Now, there was a Pogel sheet that y'all did that did say that, but it was a kind of an obscure thing. So I want to make sure you understand. Guard cells do have chloroplasts. So in that respect, do they do photosynthesis? Yeah. If the cell has chloroplasts, it's gonna do photosynthesis for sure.
There's number 5.
That's really about it. Like I said, a lot of it is, comparing the two processes. As long as you know what goes in and what comes out of both processes, and you read carefully. The biggest mistake I think that I've seen over the first 2 tests is you're jumping to conclusions. And in other words, you're not reading the whole question, or you're not really thinking about why you're choosing that answer. And I think we got a lot better on the CA, and that's why your CA grades were some of the best we've had. Because we really spent the day before the CA thinking about, why is this the correct answer? We were using that CER, that claim evidence reasoning mindset, and you really need to do that tomorrow. It's a fine line. You don't want to second guess yourself, but you definitely want, when you answer a question, you want to know why that's the right answer. So as long as you can justify it in your mind why that's the right answer, you'll be good to go. So, anyway, that's about it from here. Old Strouch Casa. We'll close it off. Guys, you want to say bye to everybody? Peace! Peace! Cullen's birthday yesterday. Woohoo! Alright. See ya!